subscribers, finally, my bits I ordered have come in. Of course it would have helped if I had placed the order. When I went to check to see where my order was, even though it was all on the screen now, I never actually followed it through. And then it took a while to arrive, probably because of the Christmas post. So here's a package opening of things that I ordered. I don't normally do very many package openings, as it were, but I'll do this one. So what I've ordered is this braid. 10mm braided sleeving, 1 metre. I bought 5 metres. I thought it might come in handy for a number of things. I could use it as screening, or I can use it as a wick, probably. I don't know. No, actually this isn't what I thought it was. This is a plastic braid. That wasn't what I was thinking. Oh, never mind. I thought this was something completely different. But it will have some uses though, because what it enables you to do is to put a load of cables together, and this will keep them all together. This is like a nylon plastic braiding, not metal. Never mind. These are the parts that I've ordered. I ordered 4 of each type. BT3750, and I ordered a BT3750. One is good for 4 amps and the other one is good for 8 amps. So I saw them there, so I bought them. They weren't very expensive. So what we'll do, we'll set up that in a minute and start soldering these parts in and see if our light works. Next thing I want to bring you to, before we go on to doing that, is the mystery radio is now no longer a mystery. We now know exactly what this radio is. And this is the schematic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a close-up of this, and I'll talk to you a bit more. So this is our schematic for that radio. This is getting preparation for having a look at that. I wasn't going to get interested in it because I don't like working on more than one project at a time. We're stuck with the HMV, so I'm going to give that a rest, but I have not given up. I just want to go on to something different for a change. So what is this mystery radio? Right, This is the service manual for the radio, and it is a BC3750. There are several different versions of uses for this chassis, so therefore it's represented in these numbers. This is the one we have, the top one. There's an L, which is different, and I think you find it's got a transformer on it for 100, 150, 200 and 250 volts. Our one is 190, 250 I think, but it doesn't matter because this schematic covers both. And also the same chassis is used in radiogram. And I was going to say catalogue. The number for that is a BC3750 and a 58L. Different versions. I printed both versions because on my list it's got the 750 and the 750L, and only to find out that they're both the same, so I got an extra manual. So what I did was I set my printer up for poster size, and this is 4 sheets of paper sellotaped together to give me a super size schematic to work on. As you can see, there's the joins. So what we want to do is, when we get near to doing this, we need a nice big piece of board, fibre board or something, hardboard, and we'll stick this to that. So if there's anything on here that isn't clear, like the joins, and I need a closer view, I mean this is pretty good, I can go to that size, which is 2 sheets of paper. I've also worked out that in the tin can, C19 is electrolytic, C24, 25, 26 are also electrolytics, and they are what's in that tin can. And the amount of information that goes with this radio from my schematic is absolutely very good. Really good. Look at this. The valves that are in it are X41, W42, MHD4, N41 and a U12 for the rectifier. It has a tuning indicator, which I found very hard to believe until I actually looked at the schematic. There's the parts list. Just a quick look at that, and some voltages. Transformer, output transformer, primary 330 ohms, secondary 0.42. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, hang on a minute. Oh dear, oh sneeze. And it's got some voltages and ohms, which come in handy. There's a lot of information on this. There's the tube socket layout, which pins are heaters and what grids and wherever it goes, so that's brilliant. This is quite a comprehensive manual, which is brilliant for me. This is going to be worth its weight in gold. There we go, we've got 4 valves here, because remember the 5th valve is a rectifier. It tells anode, screen, oscillator anode, whatever that means. It gives the voltages and the currents. I mean, this is fantastic. Here's the coils and wiring and resistance color codes. Oh, this is fantastic news. Obviously it's got all the details on here for alignments. Not that we can do any of that. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm not boring you all to death looking at this, but this is fantastic. It's 13 pages. Okay, now the thing is, Hang on a minute, what's this? Button tune on indicator adjustment. There's a tuning indicator on this. It tells you how to adjust it there. And there you go, that's the end of the manual. This is just duplicate, and this is another manual for something else that Dougie sent me. Right, now the thing is, before we can even think about working on mains radios, we have some really big problems to solve. This setup, as you see, my messy desk, in my opinion, is absolutely hopeless when it comes to working on big heavy mains radios. This setup we have here is completely and utterly no good whatsoever. I mean, this bench, just lift this up here a bit, is bowing in the middle because it's only supported by a block that end and a block that end, and that's it. There's nothing in the middle. Now, I have actually bought beams to go underneath this for this plywood top to rest on. And mind you, I found this in a skip, believe it or not. Someone actually threw this away. What a waste, you know. Thank you, insurance company. So anyway, the problem is, I'm going to go and get my problem is, hang on a sec. The problem is we have absolutely nothing set up for isolation transformers or any isolation, which you really need. Is vital, really. If you guys want to know more about isolation, those that you don't know, there's plenty on YouTube who can tell you a lot more detail than I can. But it's necessary. Now, this was my first isolation transformer. This is the one that I lost, the one that was in that box. It's even starting to go rusty. We'll have to get some oil on there. Now, remember, I'm on 250 volts here. This has an output of 115 and 230 to this. Oh, hang on, sorry, wrong side, that's the input. 200, 220, 240 and 250 volts. This is our output. Okay. Now, when I rang up the bloke, that's my inputs. So it can be set up for American voltage, or it can be set up for here, for UK voltage. But the problem is, with the voltage that I'm using here, this is only good for 1 amp. And I've given up. I thought I'm never going to see this again. So I decided to contact a company who was selling on eBay to find out about actually getting the transformers that I wanted made for me specially. And this is what I come up with. So I got this made for me. Now, I have no idea if I'm going to be living here for all my life or if I have to move. You never can predict the future. So I asked for a 240 winding and a 250 input winding to make sure that I have the right volt outputs that I want. The output for this is 240, but it is 17 amps. This transformer will take up to 17 amps. And why I went for such a big transformer is because, as you all well know, this is going to be the main power for everything that I do on my bench, as far as powering up radios and stuff. And I wanted to be certain that this is going to be more than enough to take whatever I want. Plus, if this becomes overloaded, there is a device built into the transformer that will cut it out and stop it from working. if it overheats. Now the other thing was, I also wanted the same thing again. Hang on, I'll just go down, just bend down and get it. The same thing again, but this one, these are heavy, these damn things. I wanted, again, the 240, 250 inputs, but I wanted 115 outputs, and this is rated at 2 amps. And I wanted them separate from each other. So if I'm using something that is American voltage and I'm repairing it and I need to test it with my oscilloscope or something, I can use this one. Or if I'm doing the 240 volts mains for UK, I can use this one. Now, to add to all of this, obviously there's the sockets. I want a protection circuit with the light bulb on top. 2 of them to protect my Variac. Because on a Variac, I don't know if anybody knows, I expect everybody does. I certainly didn't know until I was told. Even though it's got a fuse in it up to 5 amps, when you've got it on the lower voltages, gradually bringing up the voltage on your radio, as you bring up the voltage, the number of amps in them windings is quite substantial, is enough to burn out the transformer. So for a start, you can't linger on the lower voltages for too long. And secondly, if there is a short in the radio, it's going to take out the Variac. It's going to burn the windings up. And once it starts to burn, once you've started the ball rolling and that, you're knackered. You have to get a new Variac. So the company I bought this from, that's the company there. I'm having trouble pronouncing his name, so I'll show you the name. And that's their address and phone number. I have permission to show you this because I said, you know, that I was planning on doing it. Is it okay? Yes, it's perfectly fine for you to do that. That's fine. So I have permission, but this was a long time ago. So we need voltmeters, amp meters for both. We need something to connect them all up. We need switches, light bulb holders, light bulbs, fuses, the whole lot. And then we need to put it into some kind of case of some kind to protect from anything happening. And this is the problem. I've just come off the sick and I cannot afford anything at the moment. I have been buying stuff for this. I do have a couple of voltmeters. I do have some amp meters which I bought ages ago in preparation for doing this. And I do have some other gubbins and stuff, but there is still an awful lot I need, and also I need to make a case. That should be fun. So before we can do any mains radios or anything like that, we need to set this up. Now my plan is, there's nothing written down, it's just an idea at the moment, is I'm going to put something underneath this bench. As you can see, it's very, very insecure. Put something underneath this bench to make it flat and more solid. So we've got a stable platform to build on. And we're going to build a shelf arrangement at the back so that we can put all these instruments on to give us more desk space and also more room to put the things that we need, the sockets, the indicators and things. I mean, I was going to use neon lights for indicators just to tell me what's switched on and what isn't. So all this needs to be worked out and done before we go anywhere near doing a mains radio. You know, we need to do that first. Right, so instead of waffling on, we're going to now get on with doing this light, okay? So we'll turn on our soldering iron and stuff. But anyway, as far as the radio is concerned, what I've decided to do is to try and deal with the rust problems. This is some rust remover I've got. I saw Buzz using Evapor Rust, so I thought I'd give that a go. Never used it before. I've got that going, and I've got another two to do. Here's the other two. You can see they're in a bit of a mess. This one isn't too bad. Get rid of the rust on them. Then I'm also going to have a look at the radio as well, as to remove the valves, put them into bubble wrap, and number what they are, because some of them the numbers are missing. And now we know what they are, so we need to write that down before we take the valves out. And also I want to tackle the rust that's on the chassis as well, so it doesn't get any worse. But we can't do any work on any of this until we get this bench sorted out, because the way things are at the minute, it's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm going to hurt myself if I don't sort this out. So that's very important, and when we're going to do that, I can't tell you. I have no idea. But that's the plan. So let's get our soldering iron switched on and have a go with this light. Okay. This here is our replacement, and this is our blown one part, the one with the short. Okay, I've got that same part in my Triac thyristor analyzer. It's analysing. Triac detected details as follows, and it just tells you all the details about it. What wires are connected to which pins, and the conditions of the test. Okay, so that looks like that's pretty good to me. So what we're going to do now, we've got our iron heated up. I'm going to set this up on this camera on a tripod, and then what we'll do is we'll solder it in and see what happens. Okie dokie, this is all exciting, isn't it? Okay, I'll just get this on the tripod, and then we'll get going. So let's get this part in. So it's going to fit in like that. So first of all, we need to clean up our solder joint. Solder sucker. Just trying to clean up the holes. This is awkward. I think we got that. Yeah, that's not too bad. That should just fit in there now. Should do. God, it's difficult when you're trying to do this with one pair of hands, or one hand I should say. That's it, we got it. Right, she's in. Push it right down. There we go. Now, I'm not going to trim these pins just in case the thing doesn't work. I want to get my part back if it's not going to work. Right, that should work. And then we'll see if we've got a working light again. There we go, we're soldered in. Okie dokie, now there's the proof in the pudding is in the eating. Let's see if it works. Right, so let's plug it in. I'm just going to go ahead and just plug the damn thing in and see what it does. Right, ready, steady, go. There we go, it works. Brilliant. Right. It works. Fantastic news. Right, it's now working. Look at this. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Let's see. Just touch it. Comes onto the first brightness. And touch it again. The middle brightness. And touch it again. And it's full brightness. It did have a lampshade on, which was glass, which over the many times it's just fallen on the floor. That's been broken. But there you go, it's working. That's exactly what it was, a Triac, a short across the two gates. Alright, my next job, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the valves out of the General Electric radio. I'm going to put them into, I think I might use kitchen towel actually, to put around the tubes. I'm going to put them in a baggie of some kind and then label them what they are, because some of them haven't got labels on. But apart from that, that's it, you're up to date. Okay, so take care. I'll see you when I see you. Bye for now.